interesting.
Yeah,
Well, David, for our audience member, let's introduce Vinnie Zummo. He's a guitarist. He's a recording artist. He's a performing artist. He's a producer. He's a composer. He's an arranger. He's a sideman. He is an early adopter of the Steinberger guitar. And in honor of Vincent, I have my Steinberger. Now, David, we
Good
see
man.
Vinnie, the Steinberger on one of these. This is known as an LP, David. I don't know.
Oh, I know that well. That picture.
And there is Vinnie with his Steinberger guitar, and that was from the.
It's a white one, right?
That's a 12-string. Yeah.
From the album, of course, Joe Jacksson Body, Blaze of Glory.
I had a fight.
Did you have to fight to get that?
I had a fight to use that guitar in the photo. He wanted me to use a big ass
Old
L7.
school. So he had reservations about the design, which was
revolutionary. No. I used it for the 2 albums previous. He just had this thing. The one guitarist would have a rock guitar, and I would be the jazz guy. It was kind of. I don't go for that kind of thing.
Well, you're in the dark there, so we really can't tell if you've got a guitar in your hand.
Oh no, that's when I first started using it, from the first album, Body and Soul. Yeah,
Body and Soul, and you did it organically. Now, you got into the studio quite young, when you were a teenager. Yes.
Oh yeah, we had a recording contract. I'll call it. Guy in Brooklyn had a studio. And we'd go every day after school. And I was just so comfortable in the studio. That was my home. I was like, oh, all right. I like this a lot better than playing live. Right. And it was great. And our drummer got sick, so I got to play drums on everything.
Wow.
They had a set of timpani there. They had a piano. So we were in hog heaven. I mean, a bunch of guys coming from high school, going in and making music. It was fun, but it was, we thought, oh, we were going to make it. We have a record contract, but no, it wasn't a real record contract. It was just like a local guy.
Right.
But you know what? It was invaluable because I never had a fear of the studio.
Well, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal because it's, for most of us, it happens the other way around. You're playing gigs, then all of a sudden you're in the magnifying glass of a recording studio, and that's when the terror sets in. But that served you well later in life to be at home under the red light, under the red
I'll tell you, in the 90s, I did a lot of jingle and writing work and session work, a lot of sessions. I was doing like 3-4 a day in New York. And one of the things that from my early experience, when I would go to do a take, there'd be 2 guitarists, me and the other guy. The other guy would be like this, waiting for the count off. I'd be like this. And just as they counted off, my hand comes up to play the chords. So you don't rush.
Right.
And I'm so relaxed. It's not a big deal to me. You keep your hands down and then you play the chord. I might keep this one in position if it was something weird,
right?
Which it often was, since they never knew how to write in those days, the people who wrote for the jingles. But I'd keep my hand down and they'd stop many a take thinking I wasn't ready. But it was just something I got in the habit of. I remember reading something with Keith Richards about how his body language really informed his playing and style. And I took that to heart with the thing about, why do so many guys rush? I'm not going to rush. I'm going to keep my hand down here, be relaxed, and come back in and nail beat 1. But 9 times out of 10, they'd stop the track and say, oh, you're not ready?
Yeah.
And I'd have to explain it, and they thought I was full of crap, which I wasn't. It's just the way I do it. No, actually, I was self-taught. See, I come from a musical household. Dad played, my 2 sisters played accordion, my uncle played accordion, and accordion was a big deal for us. We'd go to the accordion contests. So I had that experience of, like, first time I went on the road, it was like, oh, I know this, the accordion contest, because we used to travel and go to these contests in like Washington or something. So a hotel room service, all that stuff was very natural to me. We didn't do it often, but when I got on the road, I didn't go hog wild because I knew what it was. I knew what the experience was. It was just a lot better rooms, and everything. But no, I played by ear. And then I found myself doing a lot of session work and I couldn't read. So I went to a wonderful man named Barry Galbraith, one of the greatest readers in the history of the guitar. And he had me within a year, he had me reading, and it became a vital part of what I do, because when I write a song, see, other guys, they have to grab a cassette deck or something. Right. Not me. I'll grab a piece of manuscript. You'll find these all over my house. These are like, this one's improvising, but I'll write a song out. I'll sit with a piece of paper and write the song, write the chords, and then I'll look at it and record it, and I have it. I don't have to go scrummaging through tapes or anything. And I find it's a great tool for someone who didn't start with it.
Right.
Had I started with it, it might have been stifling.
Yeah.
But my whole thing was my perfect pitch, and I could hear things. I could hear songs. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I don't even read the chart. I'll just play with what I hear because it's written wrong anyway most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too.
Even Joe, the last project I did for him, the Duke album, I was surprised that his writing, it used to be where his writing, you could take it and put it in a museum. He had the calligraphy kit. The man is an amazing, I don't know what the word is. He's educated. His musical education is really profound. He can sit down and write for 40 pieces, no problem. And the score will look beautiful. But this last album, I think he was in a bit of a hurry because I had to recopy all my parts and correct certain things. And guitar is weird. You know, if you don't know how to write for it, it can be very weird. Like he'd sometimes write something here and then here, and you jump.
That happens a lot, right? Yeah.
We don't do that.
Same for
but
bass.
I'm so stupid, I would do it. I'd make a point of doing it, and he'd think it was easy and write everything like that. But I like, somebody gives you something to do, I believe you're getting paid for it, you do it.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's talk a little bit about Joe Jacksson. You got the gig in '84, and how did you get that gig with Joe?
My friend Ed Reinsdale was in the Night and Day band.
Right. Big hit record.
Yeah. And he brought me, he said, come to Joe's and play for him. So we went to his house, we played, and he started playing What You Want on the piano, and I start going. And that was the lick. I kept that lick right through the recording sessions. And it was funny, I'm setting up and I'm checking my pedals out, and I put my fuzz tone on and play something. He says, "You hear that sound?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Don't ever use that." Oh.